All right, so ask me anything now happening. This is super casual. It is an opportunity for you to ask questions or share reflections, gain some insight. I've got a list of questions that were submitted by people, but yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. By the way, you're all muted right now, or throw them in the chat box. Um, like I said, this is for you. If you get your question answered and you want to bounce, feel free. Some others have joined us late in the past, so I'm kind of expecting that. But yeah, I'm here to answer any and all questions you may have. So welcome, Shelby, Chelsea, Kathleen. And let me see if anybody else is waiting. Hold on, hold on. Okay, that's the wrong link. um, yeah, so I'll start going down the list of questions that I received. And yeah, chime in, throw some in the chat box, whatever you got. But we'll keep it going, and we'll be done in less than an hour. Yeah, Shelby threw one in the chat box, and I'm looking for the list from Kat. All right, here we go. So, any resources you would recommend for first-time pregnancies to share with partners? Currently working with a BIRTHFIT trainer and feeling great about my mental prep, but would like to help my husband prep too. Solid question. I get this a ton. And I've even thought about doing like one-off partner workshops, virtual workshops, but here we are now practically knocking on December's door, and that didn't happen this fall. But what I would say is if your BIRTHFIT, let me type this in. If your BIRTHFIT coach, leader, whoever you're working with right now, if they're open to it, if you're training with them, if you are whatever you're doing with them, maybe they would be open to having your husband, or if somebody else is listening, partner, having them come to one of the sessions. Because frankly, let's say if it's a training session, your husband or partner, they can do the training session with you and they'll still get a great workout. Their load might be different, their intensity might be different, their rest might look different, but working out together is such a great bonding experience, and like getting in sync together, getting on the same page. The other thing I would say is resources for your partner. I'm not okay, didn't tell me how far along you are, but I know within our small group, small group birth education that we offer via BIRTHFIT online, we always welcome husbands, partners, boyfriends to attend. And we, in fact, encourage one of like them to attend at least, I think it's the third meeting, if not the fourth, so that they can gain exposure around some of the common procedures and protocols and language that is used in the birth world. Because they have maybe never heard the word epidural or doula or whatever. And so just getting a little more comfortable around that. So yeah, that's our small group birth education that's done virtually. If you have the opportunity to attend any local birth education classes live, I would do that. Not because they're full of the best information. Often some of them are outdated or need to catch up, but for the sheer sake of meeting other couples and the discussion that happens in the room. I remember, and I'm still blown away by some of the discussions that my small groups were able to have, like the birth education groups that I had. couples would sign up, and I would do like 5 couples max at a time. So there'd be 10 people in the room, which is actually quite a lot. But they would have the most brilliant, compassionate, non-judgmental discussions. And I'm thinking of this one group I had. This was at a birth center I was working at. And they had great discussions around vaccinations and breech, like vaginal breech birth, because there was one couple in there that ended up going with a vaginal breech birth and delivering it at home. And so they were able to share like their thought process with the class, and then they shared their awesome update with the class afterwards. And then inside of that class, we had such a spectrum as far as people that were they were from never been vaccinated families, and so they didn't want any vaccines, from somebody that worked in the pharmaceutical industry. So that was a really brilliant class that I'm like remembering right now. But if you get the chance, like sign up for a local class just for that reason. Like I said, don't count on it to have the most up-to-date information and to be like bias free. The other thing I would say is podcasts. Get your husband listening to podcasts. And I'll actually make a plug here. I don't know if any of y'all listen to Savan, and I forget his, it's called the Savan Podcast, Sevan. I was actually on his podcast, and you can watch it on YouTube, or YouTube seems to be a more male dominated place of hanging out. But I learned this through listening to Jordan Peterson and some of his talks. But I was on the Savan podcast on Friday, and we talked for 2.5 hours. Yes, I had to cancel my meeting after that. About birth and kind of all things around it. And yes, my personal journey, but I think it's a really good place to start, because it's a gentleman interviewing me, and it's kind of a balance of masculine and feminine energy. I know I'm throwing out a lot of stuff. If your podcasts are great, the old BIRTHFIT podcasts are awesome. I haven't recorded any new podcasts this year, but there's a bank from 4 years. I did the podcast for 4 years, and so there's tons of old episodes. There's another podcast called Doing It at Home, and they have great birth stories. Like they'll share birth stories about births at home and unmedicated births in the hospital, transfers, things like that. And they just have such a positive spin around birth and perception. So I really like that one. If your husband wants to read, it depends on like what route he wants to go. Like if he wants tips, like a simple book is called The Birth Partner. It's really old. I think it's by Penny Simkin, who's a legendary doula. Oh, thank you, Kathleen. But Birth Partner will give some practical tips, and like I said, it's a little bit older, but still relevant. Anything by Michel Odent, Michelodent. He's a French OB-GYN, but sometimes like that partner of ours really wants facts and numbers. So Michel Odent is a French OB-GYN that has done a ton of research. So I hope that helps. And last, we've had partners set up consults with either of us, myself or Leah. So if they just have a list of questions that they want to roll through with us, you can set up a consult via our website. That's always fun. I love talking to partners. So that's yeah, I'm always game for those kind of consults. But start with those, and then yeah, message us if yeah, Penny Simkin, that's it. If you have any more questions. Okay. I got another question in here from just my DMs. I was wondering, what are some requirements to become a BirthFit leader? I've been working on applying to midwifery school, but I have more of a passion in the fitness, specifically CrossFit industry. I've considered finishing out my psychology major, specifically focusing in postpartum mental health. Would this be possible qualification that would help me become a possible BirthFit leader? How awesome. What a beautiful journey you're on. I would definitely say start your BirthFit leader journey. I know we're going to have a huge discount on the BirthFit education in November, so make sure you're signed up for the newsletters. But yeah, so in order to get involved with like the BirthFit leader, BirthFit coach community, the first step is the BirthFit education. And this is our online learning module, 12 module deep course. And it's chock full of expert guest speakers and myself. But the good news is there's guest speakers and you don't have to listen to me the whole time. But once you go through this whole BirthFit education, that is when you would submit your application to be a leader. And you would just submit a resume, and on that resume, any qualifications or trainings, like just include it all on there. And once you're approved, you would be a BirthFit leader. You can stop there. You don't have to do anything else. Or like if you're a BirthFit leader and you want to purchase any of our curriculum to teach, you could do so then. So once somebody's approved to be a BirthFit leader, they have access to like a private login area, and they can choose one or all of some of the BirthFit curriculum, the BirthFit consultation, the BirthFit workshop, the BirthFit Basics Prenatal, or the BirthFit Basics Postpartum program. Oh, I said it wrong. Excuse me. Sorry. The BirthFit Basics Postpartum series or the BirthFit Basics Prenatal series. So those 4 things, you could purchase them all, a one-time fee, and then teach them as many times as you want in your area. So if you are, if you have your own business, if you have a gym, if you have a midwifery practice, whatever, these can all be additional services underneath your business umbrella. Same with chiropractic, PT, like they work really nicely just to supplement there. Like the curriculum's already designed, and excuse me, the way you're able to call it a BirthFit class is like by purchasing that particular curriculum and then calling it the BirthFit Prenatal, BirthFit Basics Prenatal series or BirthFit Basics Postpartum series. That's how you get to use the BirthFit name there. If you want to take your journey further and become a BirthFit coach, that's when you would attend one of our live seminars. And this is very hands-on. It's not like what it used to be. So if somebody's watching this or listening to this and you've been to a professional or coach seminar in the past, this is kind of an evolution of that. We put all the lecture stuff inside of the BirthFit education, and now all hands-on workshop type stuff, discussion, that happens in the BirthFit seminar. And you would be required to take this and then submit an application to become a BirthFit coach. I will say we do require some sort of coaching experience to be a BirthFit coach, mainly because we are not an organization that certifies you to become a coach. This is an additional education. This is an additional training, expertise. This is something to add on. So some places, or some certifications we look at are definitely like CrossFit level 1, level 2. Power Athlete Block 1 is a great course. I'm not sure if y'all can hear my dog whining out there, but he's whining. Power Athlete Block 1. Things like NASM and CSCS are great courses, chock full of information, but you don't actually get coaching experience. So if you've taken those, we would just look at your resume to see that you've, had experienced personal training or coaching, something like that. So we really do kind of examine each resume or CV, whatever you want to call it, to make sure there's coaching experience there. Once somebody is approved to be a BIRTHFIT coach, they can then purchase 2 additional curriculum, and that is the BIRTHFIT Prenatal series and or the BIRTHFIT Postpartum series. These are our original signature series. In fact, the BIRTHFIT Postpartum series was the first thing I ever designed, the first class I ever hosted. And yes, it's definitely evolved since I first wrote it and designed the class. But these are so much fun, and they require coaching experience because movements inside of those classes includes like using a barbell or using a kettlebell or using a dumbbell, but having experience and knowledge in and around the gym. So I hope that kind of lays that out. It's so cool that you are applying to midwifery school because that is so rad. There is a woman that's a BIRTHFIT coach, and I believe she's in Arizona. Tracy is her name, and she's a midwife and a BIRTHFIT coach. And let me see. I could not tell you her last name. Tracy Burns, maybe. Maybe Leah or Kat has an idea, but she's just a wealth of information in her local community, and I love it. The other thing, since you're concentrating on a psychology major with postpartum mental health in mind, like PMADS, if you have not met Alyssa Berlin, Dr. Alyssa Berlin, she's out of Los Angeles, I would definitely go stalk her, get to know her, intern with her if you can, because she is phenomenal. She's a phenomenal psychologist that specializes in postpartum families, things like that. And we've had her as a expert speaker a number of times, whether it be the BIRTHFIT Summit. She's done, I think, 2 podcasts for us, and she's doing a lecture right now for us to put in the BIRTHFIT education. She's awesome. So yeah, that's all good stuff, and I hope that that helps you out a little bit on that question. But yeah, sign up for the newsletter because I know we got some big sales going on in September. September's come and gone. In November, and the BIRTHFIT education will be on sale there as well. Cool. You are so welcome. All right, so I'm gonna start rolling down this list, but if y'all have any other questions pop up, throw them in the chat box. I try to host, or I'm trying to host these Ask Me Anythings once a month. So if we get through your question and you have another question next month, feel free to show up again. Okay, so what are some tips you suggest to supplement working out to stay energized during pregnancy? Okay, so I'm not sure. Let me make sure. What are some tips you suggest to supplement working out to stay energized during pregnancy? From reading this, it sounds like maybe working out isn't always an option, but they understand the benefit of working out as it enhances energy. So what are some other things? And then I'll answer the question in a different way that it could be addressed as well. So walking, if you can fit a morning walk in your daily routine, daily life, even if it's 10 minutes with some sunshine, that's huge. That is huge. I cannot stress that enough. If a walk is not possible, but you're able to get some sunshine at some point in the day, ideally in the morning, that's second best. Second best would also be the BIRTHFIT basics within an hour of waking up, because you're gonna move, you're gonna shift, you're gonna start moving energy and shifting energy throughout your body. And that's so key. And with the BIRTHFIT basics, you're starting to have little bitty, have a small conversation with your body, and you are basically honing in, like zeroing in on your breath and movement and starting with that. I think those are great places to start as far as movement and energy. I will say this, if you are training and a workout leaves you depleted, exhausted, that might be too much. Like, I want you to feel nourished after you work out, especially through pregnancy. And as you start getting more into what looks like training postpartum, make sure your body feels nourished. Okay, so let's touch on this. This question could be addressed this way as well, like supplements and nourishment. Um, you've got to eat within 30 minutes, 40 minutes at the most after training, especially during pregnancy. Um, you've got to nourish yourself as best you can with real food and like protein, carbs, fats, all of it. So it might take some meal prep, meal planning ahead of time, making extra food so you have a meal the next day. But that window after training, it's got to be full of nourishment, like nutrition stuff. I've known plenty of people that have taken aminos um, before a workout, during a workout, after a workout, just whatever sits best with them. That's also a really good option to get nutrients. I know Kion makes some great aminos. Thorn makes some great aminos. I think those are the only two I've tried that I really love. BCAAs, that's what they are. I would start there. Second, if you are feeling depleted and exhausted, I would check the amount of protein that you're consuming. I like to consume, like on average, 100 grams of protein a day. If I can get that or more, I'm feeling pretty good. And especially when somebody's pregnant. And you're probably going to want to eat some protein within an hour or so of waking up. That's a huge deal. Energy wise, let me see. Staying energized through pregnancy. Yeah, I would go back and look at what kind of nourishment, supplements, things like that you're taking. You might just need more nutrients, more food, like nutrient dense food. Organ complexes are always great. If you follow me on Instagram, my personal Instagram, there's a link in the profile for Ancestral Health. Tribe 10, you can get 10% off there. Element, like if you're not drinking, well, Element period is a great product to consume during pregnancy and postpartum. Dehydration is one of the biggest reasons, like dehydration because of stress is one of the biggest reasons that milk supply issues arise. And like there have been great anecdotal studies with Element and having an Element packet like a day during postpartum. So that's huge. We have that on the BIRTHFIT shop. You can go grab a variety pack to try it out. Element's great. It's got magnesium, sodium, potassium, and everybody needs more magnesium. Yeah, let me see if I hit this to supplement workout to stay energized. Okay, I will add, I'll like at least once a semester, once a quarter. I get a question of like, what's a pre-workout I can take? Honestly, all of them, every pre-workout I've seen is garbage except for coffee. So if you want to pick me up, like caffeine coffee is okay during pregnancy. Ideally it's 1 cup or less, like 300 milligrams or less of caffeine. And it's like 1 cup of coffee. So that's always a good pre-workout. The I will say, like, everybody's physiology is different. So if you notice that you're like jittery, or it just doesn't sit well with you, then don't drink it. Nobody's forcing you to drink coffee. Um, but that would be the only approved pre-workout, I would say. Um, oh, the last thing I'll add for energy wise is I love the greens from Organifi, and I drink those like late morning, and they're like a little energy boost. So I love that. I hope that helps. Let me make sure I got it from all angles. Yeah. Yeah, basically if you're feeling depleted or lack of energy, look at make sure you're consuming enough, period, and make sure you're consuming enough protein. Speaking of supplements, what supplements prenatal brand do you suggest or recommend? I've seen some changes from Thorne, from my understanding, so I'd like my money to support freedom. Oh shit, I just X'd out of something. Um, I'm with you. I totally hear your frustrations. Um, I love the Thorne products, and I know they haven't changed. Their quality is still the same. However, I do know that they have put in a vaccine mandate for their employees with an option for religious and medical exemptions. So there's that. And what I would say is, if you are an avid user of Thorne and this frustrates you, email them, let them know how you feel, let them know that you've loved their products, but you're just not vibing with the way they're doing doing business and adhering to the mandates right now. But they have a great prenatal vitamin. Um, I will say I have explored Full Well Fertility, and it's a smaller company, and this is my preference for how do I say it, not vaccine friendly, just freedom. So check out Full Well Fertility. Lily Nichols was the one that actually pointed that one out to me, and that's the one I've been trying lately. So far so good. um but yeah, I sent an email out on my personal site about this, because I mean, this is a small group who will watch this, but yeah, it really bummed me out about Thorne, and it's one of the reasons that we removed them from our BIRTHFIT shop. um their products, like I said, are phenomenal, affordable, quality products, which is, I think, just like, I love them. I love the people that work for Thorne. I love their products. But yeah, the people higher up making the decisions, I don't know if I love them. um, but what I will say is, if you are making a decision to cancel a company based on this, make sure you're doing it across the board. Make sure it's not just Thorne because your favorite influencer said. Make sure you're truly living in alignment with your values and where you do business. And this person that asked that question, it sounds like she totally does. But for those of you that this is a new concept of speaking and voting with your dollars, I would encourage you to stop using Amazon, buy locally, things like that. So really think about where your money is going, what your actions are doing, and is it circulating your community locally? Because that would be my first priority. If it's not, is it circulating the community of the state, your state you live in? And then beyond that, the United States, like our nation, like can we keep money in the nation? Can we keep jobs in the nation? That would be my preference. So yeah, there's my 2 cents on that. But full well fertility, check that one out. Uh, okay. Any ideas to relieve muscle soreness? Used to love hot Epsom salt baths, but sadly I'm avoiding them with concerns of raising core body temperature. Yes, muscle soreness. This is another one where I would enhance my magnesium. Magnesium bisglycinate powder by Thorne. That's a really good one. But if you're getting it from another company, just make sure it's quality. There's no added sugars in there. But it sounds like magnesium would really benefit. And I've known people that have taken hot baths, but yeah, it depends on the temperature, it depends on what trimester. I think you're probably better off later in your pregnancy than you are early on. The best thing to do with muscle soreness is to move again, walk, swimming. Swimming is so good. Hopefully, since it's starting to be winter in most places, maybe you have access to a heated pool. That would probably feel really good. The other thing I would say is make sure you're getting weekly chiropractic adjustments. If you have a body worker, a massage therapist, that's always a bonus. It's always a good thing during pregnancy. So that's where I would start. Massage is key. Oh, acupuncture. Acupuncture is always good. Um, yeah, and then just gentle movements. Like the more you can stay moving, the better. Even if it's like 10-minute walks, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If that's all you can do today, great. Maybe tomorrow we get another workout in, maybe we go have a little longer walk, whatever. But you can't even see me. Movement will help shift that. Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what else helps that I don't know if you want to invest in a red light or a sauna lamp, but those help a ton. And they're great for postpartum healing as well. Sauna Space has like a spot lamp that's really awesome. Depends on like how much money you want to throw down this rabbit hole. That's a good one. Good question. Mm. Oh, BCAAs also help muscle soreness. So that would go back to the nourishment thing, like make sure you're eating enough, getting enough protein. Um, yeah, I love a good bath. It sucks. All right. Hello, I'm a chiropractor in New York. I love all things BIRTHFIT. Um, well, this is long. Okay. Okay, so the question is, this is a great question. What are your favorite ways of dialoguing with women about choosing BIRTHFIT compared to other programs like Brianna Battles or something called Every Woman or just other programs out there? Oh my God, why do I keep clicking on this? So yeah, this is a great question. Um, I would say because we're the best. No, I know that's not the answer you want. All right, so at BIRTHFIT, I truly believe that we're the best, most holistic approach to the motherhood transition. And that includes preconception, pregnancy, and postpartum healing, like that entire year postpartum. We understand that this birth, this motherhood transition, this whole experience is going to be the biggest athletic, most transformative event of your life. Mind, body, and soul will be altered. And what we also understand are the innate intelligence approach and innate intelligence within us all, and the importance of the mother baby dyad when it comes to like immediately after birth or within birth, in that immediate postpartum period into that fourth trimester. And if we can just understand innate principles such as developmental kinesiology, like this person knows DNS, um, and sorry, I lost my train of thought because a fly just if we can just understand, okay, this is a holistic approach to the motherhood transition. We BirthFit know what we as humans, how we as humans are designed to move, how we are designed to breathe, and we respect the postpartum healing. So just those things are important. And, I don't think there is another program out there that literally gets to the root of things. And what I mean by that is, it took me 5 years to write the BirthFit coach seminar, the first edition of it, because there was nobody teaching breath and stability like I wanted, or that like light bulbs would go off in my head. So I think we teach basic foundational philosophies, movements, methodologies that can be applied to any movement, any sports, anything across the board. And this goes to breath, this goes to healing, everything. So it's a lot deeper than just, many of these programs that only scratch the surface, or that teach something like piston breathing or hypopressive breathing or pulling your belly button to your spine or sucking your pelvic floor up and in. Like these are all great and they exhibit control of your breath, but they don't do anything to create stability. So yeah, I think there's a lot more depth to BirthFit. I mean, I know so. I believe that we have such a respect and honoring on the natural physiological processes that we as humans are designed to go through, that is natural for us as humans. For instance, like developmental kinesiology. This is how we as humans learn to move, and it starts from infancy. Like we study this through becoming a bipedal creature. And so developmental kinesiology takes us through this sequential order, these milestones that we must achieve and achieve on top of the previous one, so that we can gain stability on top of cognitive and social development. So there's a lot more behind the curtain rather than just 3 sets of 10 bis and tris, reverse lunges, or Pallof presses. So I don't know if I hit that, but I would also say that our shit works. And I hate that, our shit works in the sense of we haven't reinvented the wheel. We've only pulled up and like gathered all the information of what is already out there and the brilliance that is already out there, but people have left behind, mainstream media has left behind. It wasn't trendy, it wasn't beautiful, it wasn't a quick fix. That's not us. We're in it for sustainability, we're in it for long-term health benefits, we're in it for proper healing and supporting the mother baby dyad. Like the entire like first year postpartum is still healing. And for these programs that say, oh, I'll get you back in 6 weeks or 2 months, like, no, 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 no. It just doesn't work like that. Like, first of all, baby needs you. Baby's learning how to co-regulate off their immediate support person. So that's often mother. Um, so yeah, it's we support kind of the natural physiological processes within the motherhood transition through our training programs, through our rehab postpartum. Just because we are like training the mother doesn't mean we've forgotten about the baby. In fact, that's front and center. It's why we do what we do. We want the mother to be the best version of herself so that she may show up fully for her little one and for her family, whatever that family dynamic is. But yeah, there's a lot more depth within the BIRTHFIT programs, and I call them holistic training programs, mind, body, soul. And each of our training days is designed with the polyvagal theory in mind. So we honor and respect the nervous system. Our nervous system lets us know if we are safe or unsafe, you know, and that's going to be true within labor as well. So if your nervous system says you're not safe, it's going to close up. Your cervix is going to close. There's not going to be any dilation happening. So this is what we think about, for instance, inside the prenatal training program. Do you feel safe in this movement? If this movement is uncomfortable, why? Let's explore that. So yeah, I could go on and on, but yeah, we're a holistic training program that honors and respects the nervous system and the natural physiological processes within the body, as well as the fourth trimester. I like that. Cool. All right, so let me see if I got all of these. Sweet. That is, oh, it's 45, 15 till. I'm ahead of the game here. If y'all have any questions that you want me to touch on before we sign off, throw them in the chat box. I will let you know, we do have some new blogs posted. One's about knee pain, one's about weight loss at 7 months postpartum and the frustration I hear. Check out our website. Our website is now color coordinated. For instance, things in like all around pregnancy, prenatal are a certain color, things around postpartum are a certain color, things around the B community are a certain color. So everything's color coordinated. Hopefully it's easy to navigate. For those of you that don't know, we have a general strength and conditioning program. It's called B Community. You get a free week trial if you haven't tried it yet. But this is for anyone that is in that open to conceive window, in between having babies or done having babies. This is a really awesome community. We've got over 60 people in there now, but we're all about sustainable fitness. Our training days usually average anywhere from like 35 minutes to 50 minutes. So it's get in, get out, super efficient. Each day starts with a mind-body reflection. Sorry, a mind-body connection. Each day ends with a mind-body reflection. Yeah, and there's yoga on Saturdays. So if you are itching to do some yoga, it's super short and sweet, usually 15 to 20 minutes with a focus on like one area of the body. That's our yoga session on Saturdays in B Community. So yeah, lots of things going on in the BIRTHFIT world. Stay tuned. Make sure you are on the newsletter to get all the discounts coming up. And I will say, we have some BIRTHFIT swag coming to the website. very soon, if not tonight, tomorrow, or the next day, but you could purchase your BIRTHFIT shirt with a new BIRTHFIT logo. There's some hats, there's some onesies, there's some joggers, all good stuff. But yeah, I think that's about it for tonight. There's some big newsletters going out this week, so make sure you're on there. I get into some COVID stuff. Yeah, you might want to pay attention there. I will say, if anybody has questions about that, don't hesitate to email us. If we don't know, we'll direct you. I know Evidence-Based Birth has some good COVID resources. But yeah, don't feel like you're alone or that you can't ask questions because shit's being censored. Like, we're here to talk about it. So if you have anything, let us know. I'll stop talking. I'll sign off so that you can all wrap and go about your evenings. But yeah, I love answering your questions. I hope we can be a resource for you and support you through your journey, wherever that is. And yeah, if this sparked some interest, some conversation, some questions, feel free to email us info@birthfit.com. All right. Bye, y'all. You're so welcome. Have a great evening.